Hey, it's Marcus Washington, MTC Media here live. Villanova and Maryland. The Wildcats blitzed Maryland from the very beginning. This game was never close. Villanova wins 57-40. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to speak up a little bit. Here at Villanova, they pipe their post-game show in. If you've been here, whether it's for us, it's like Georgetown or somewhere, one of the local schools, you know that they do this. And because this game started late, I'm certainly not waiting for that post-game show to be over. The game started out, Villanova scored the first 8 points of the game. In my notes, they were just on fire. As I tweeted out, back in 1985, these two teams played the NCAA tournament on Villanova's run to the national championship win over Georgetown, where they shot out of their mind. This game almost resembled it. Villanova was up 13-2, and at that point, they were perfect from the field, 4 for 4, 3 for 3 from three. The only miss they had was they were 2 for 4 from the free throw line, while the Terps was 1 for 6. Villanova would push that lead up to 20-6 at one point, and 33-11 ended up being their largest lead of the first half. And at that point, Villanova was 12 for 16 from the field. Maryland's offense, especially in the first half, was never on the rails. It looked off rails. They could not get any sort of rhythm, anything. They were always deep in the shot clock, shooting shots that you don't necessarily want to shoot because you're up against the clock. I asked Kevin Willard, does this team struggle when it has to always take the ball out of the basket? They gave up the first 8 points of the game. They give up the first 7 points of the second half. His thing was they have to make shots. They make shots, they can get into their press defense, and then they don't have to play as much half-court offense. This team is just not a half-court offense. When you look at it, they don't have enough shooting. Let's be for real. And then you have the freshmen. Jamie Kaiser got to start tonight. DHS has been starting. Kaiser struggled early on. I'm looking up his stats now. He ended 0 for 4 from the field in 18 minutes with 3 fouls. Deshaun Harris-Smith, DHS wasn't brought in here thinking, he's a 20-point scorer, at least not as a freshman. He was 1 for 6 from the field. I spoke to him after the game. He was talking about wanting to get right back on the gun, right back in the gym, and getting his shots up. Felt like that he needs to improve his shooting. And that's why I give him a lot of credit. I'm going to tell you, each time I've spoken to him, he has been very vocal about where he needs to improve and very aggressive in saying that he wants to take on the challenge to improve. So Maryland ended up, I went through Ken Palm. I think Ken Palm's only going back to the 99 season. If I look it up, in that 2012 season, the game happened in 2011. I have it written down here somewhere, where Maryland only scored 42 points against Alabama. I was trying to look for it. I didn't see it in the record book, so I know going all the way back to the 99 season, it was in that 2012 season, Maryland only scored 42 points in the game against Alabama. They only scored 40 tonight, and they had to make a run to score to 40. Villanova was not very good in the second half. Let's be for real. You can talk about maybe it was because they were up by so much, but Villanova in the second half was only 5 for 19 from the field. And like I said, this was after they scored the first 7 points of the second half. Maryland ended up making 8 of 23 in the second half from the field. Maryland was 4 for 27 from the field in the first half. And whatever you think 4 for 27 looks like, it was worse than whatever that 4 for 27 did look like. But it's hard to win now. In the NBA, because of spacing of the floor, it's hard to win when you can't get consistent shooting. In college, the floor even shrinks more when you cannot get enough shots. You don't have to be the greatest perimeter shooting team. You don't have to shoot, 45% from three and take 43s a game. That's not what it is. But you have to make enough where teams cannot game plan specifically to make you shoot it. And it looked like Villanova all night game plan is saying, hey, if Maryland's going to beat us, they're going to beat us shooting jump shots, knowing that this team right now, as we speak, cannot win a game against a Power 5, Power 6, however you want to define the Big East, one of their quality teams, and Villanova is one of these quality teams. And the Wildcats came out. Look, they came off of lost to Penn right on this floor, where they let a freshman drop 22 on them. They looked like they were angry. They were physical. They were intense. And that's not to say that Maryland didn't have a same level of desperation or want to, because they had lost their last two, but they did not match the intensity. They did not match the physicality. They did not match the want to. I'm sure behind closed doors, Kevin Willard will take steps to you know, remedy that. But that's one of those things where it has to be in the locker room, where one of the veteran players or one of the players in there has to say, you know what, this is unacceptable on our end. And it has nothing to do with coach. This has everything to do with us. If we defend on that side of the floor, the offense will come. And it's, you know, you're finding out very early in the season, that has to be Maryland's formula. Because again, they're not shooting anyone out the gym. We have enough sample size now to know that on most nights their defense has to generate it. Doesn't mean that's on all nights. I'm sure there are going to be nights where you're going to sit there and say, hey, look, Marcus, Maryland hit blah, 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 blah. But on most nights, their defense is going to have to spearhead their offense. And tonight against Villanova, that did not happen at all. Well, 11:21. I know people are getting into bed. For me, I need to get into bed. I have Georgetown tomorrow against Mount St. Mary's at Cap 1. So yeah, it'll be leaving Philadelphia a little early to get back down 95 to cover Georgetown, which will be the next place you will see me again here from Finneran Coliseum, Finneran from Finneran Pavilion. Villanova wins 57-40 over University of Maryland. I will be out at Maryland on Tuesday for the UMBC game. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and then Sunday also at Georgetown, and then Tuesday at Maryland. This is Marcus Washington from MTC Media.